and we're going to chat with another Julie Burke, who's also an Elite 3, and she's a Platinum 3, which means she also has 400,000 organizational points, and she's created at least a minimum of 9,000 in personal product sales in a month. It's amazing. She's a mom of 2 busy boys. If you follow her on social media, you know what we're talking about. Julie Burke went from being a former corporate dropout to a franchise owner burnout. That does not sound fun. But when she sold her franchise, she was finally able to find freedom with the network marketing profession. So with that, Julie Burke, can we hear you?
Hey, Stace, how are you? Can you hear me?
I can hear you. I'm so excited to have you on. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for you to share. So if you could just share a bit of your story, and then we'll dig into some tips.
Oh, my gosh. There's so many different pieces to our story, right, our journey. But and Joel did such a fabulous job, and Staci, you're an amazing host. So love you, sister. So I just want to welcome everyone to this call. I'm very excited to be here, honored to have been asked to be on. I almost did not do this call because I have we're just going to be real, raw, honest, right, vulnerable. It's like the only way I know how to be, which that's the key there. If you live your life on social media, just be real, right? Just be a good human. I always say all the time, just be a good human, because you know what? It attracts other really good humans to you. And that's part of the success that I've had, right? It's just by showing up and sharing. We are having a tragedy in our family right now. We are losing my cousin to cancer. He is a brother to me. He's 44 years old. He just turned 44. And he's laying in bed on hospice right now. And I'm not trying to bring down the call, but you guys, this is life, right? And sometimes, and this is the power to network marketing. I will share my story, and I'll start from the beginning, but the power of network marketing is when you build this, it allows you to take the time that you need, right? That is the power of having something coming in month after month, that recurring revenue. And I've been in network marketing now for 13 years. I started back when, like I said, I was very young into corporate America. I did not have your traditional background. I did not go to a 4-year college right out of high school. I actually didn't know what the heck I wanted to do with my life. I just knew that we came from a family where my dad lost his business. We almost lost our house. I started working when I was 14 years old, and I just wanted to make money. I wanted to contribute to our family, and that's what I did. And so I was 17 years old when I graduated, and I started in corporate America, making $36,000. And back then, I'm 47, so I'm really showing my age here, right? That was like really good money, especially when your friends are going away to university. So I was like the girl making money, visiting friends at university, and just being able to have a really good time, right? But I was in corporate America for 5 years, and I realized, like, holy cow, I don't want to be here. I do not want to work for people that don't appreciate the work that I'm doing. I don't want to be told when I have to come into work and when I have to leave. If you know me, you know I'm a little bit of a rebel. I absolutely thrive for experiences and freedom, and I will do anything possible to make sure that my life is that way, right? And so, but what I thought was freedom was to own my own business. And that's when I saved up all the money. I got into franchising. I actually owned 3 Jimmy John's. I was 22 years old. I did go to a community college and ended up getting my degree at night school, but I thought that the franchise was my ticket to freedom, being my own boss. And what I quickly learned is that those franchises own me. I had to be there morning and at night. I had to be there at 6 a.m. to bake the bread. I didn't lock that door until 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. Like, when you own your own business, no one's going to care for your business as much as you do, right? Like, that's your livelihood. So after about 10 years, I decided enough's enough. I was actually pregnant with our first child, Austin, and I decided that I wanted to sell. And luckily, they were very good, profitable stores. I put my heart and soul into that, but I knew that I just wanted to be a stay-at-home mom. I did not want to go back into corporate America. I never wanted to own a brick and mortar again. And so I needed to find something that I could do from the house. So when he was 1, I actually found direct sales. Now, if you've ever been in direct sales, you know you are doing home parties. So what I then found was I was gone most nights and weekends when I wanted to be home with my husband and, my newborn son and actually be with them, but instead I had to be at these parties. And I would drive all over to do the parties. And it was great cash, right? It was cash and carry, but it did not fulfill what I was actually seeking. And so I went back to the drawing board, and then that's when I found network marketing. And I learned quickly how to utilize social media for attraction to get people to me. So I didn't have to keep going to all the parties. However, there were still parties and events involved at that time. And after about 4 years with that company, that's actually when I found Modere. And Modere has a system. Social retailing has been incredible for those of us that are either maybe you do have a full-time job and you want to do something on the side, right? You're just looking for that side thing, whether it's a couple $100, $1,000, or you really want to go full-time and you want to go big and you want to build that, possibly that six-figure, multi-six-figure, seven-figure business. It's whatever you want it to be, but it gives you more flexibility and freedom because we have the systems here. We show you how to do this from, start to finish. We are a community of people. There's no egos here. And that's what I loved about it. And so I actually resigned that company, making multiple six figures, as scary as it was, to come over and start from ground zero. I did not take my team. I did not, get any sort of deal to come to Modere. I came to Modere and I started over and I said if I build it once, I could do it again. And that was my journey. And I knew, and listen, you guys, and social media has changed so much since I started with my first company. When I started with my first company, Staci, you could just put up like a 2-sentence post and I'd have people just commenting on it. But now it's videos and reels and this and that. And I'm going to be honest, it is a little bit over my head. So I still just kind of post the way I want to post. I show my family. I show my life. I share positivity because that's what I want in return, right? But I remember a time when Nadia, if you guys know Nadia Melton, right? She's amazing. And if you don't, you need to meet her, the Meltons. They're our fearless leaders. And she said, Julie, and I'm not going to even pretend to speak in the Russian accent that she has, but she's like, you need to do video. And I'm like, I'm not doing video. And she's like, you need to do video. And I remember this is back in 2015. And I was so nervous. You guys, I literally, my first video I did do it. I was flicking a pen and the pen flew out of my hand. I was just so embarrassed, but I didn't die. And I just remember there was a famous quote by Walt Disney. Well, I love his vision, his story, everything. And it is this. The way to get started is to quit talking and begin doing. And so I was like, okay, I have to do this. And little by little by little, and I started a brand new page for me. I didn't do it on my personal page. I actually just started a Facebook business page. I'm like, okay, I'm going to give some tips to build your network marketing business, right? You guys, nobody showed up for a while, but what does consistency bring, right? The more you keep doing, the more you keep showing up, I'm telling you, the more people will start coming to you, start talking to you, start connecting with you. And that's honestly what I did round 2 of my network marketing career when I started with Modere. It was just going back to the basics. And I feel like so often we forget, like, just to keep it simple and just to remain consistent, just like Julie said, right? It is that consistency that matters. And so, you guys, anyone can do this. I think that's what I love, is that people come into network marketing from all walks of life. We all have our different stories, right? But here, you're created equal. Like, I love it because there are no titles. Yes, I know Staci shared with you what we have done inside of Modere, but we're still real people. Like, there's no ego here. And I that's what I love most about this company, because in my last company, it was not like that. And I like to keep it more, obviously, I could say real a million times, but that's just who I am. What you see is what you get, and that's what I love, because that's the same thing here. And the leadership is untouched with what we have going on with our corporate leadership. So that is a bit of my journey, Staci.
Yeah, I love it. It's so true. Everyone helps everyone, and that's been the most, pivotal part of me creating success here, whereas I hadn't before. It's just that feeling of really being able to tap into what other people are doing, and they're willing to help you. People aren't gatekeeping their strategies, which I've actually experienced before, where they won't tell you the truth about what they're doing because there's a scarcity mindset with some people. But that is just not how it is here, and I love that. One of the things that I am most impressed about with you, Julie Burke, and how you show up on social media, and I think, by the way, everyone listening, you should be following her on social. Same with Julie Reynolds, same with Tanya. See what they're doing. Because, again, like Julie Reynolds said, success leaves clues. So Julie Burke, to me, you're one of the most authentic human beings I've ever met. And you're freaking hilarious, which to me is like number one. But anyway. But when Julie Burke shows up on social media, she is not afraid to share the truth of life, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I said that before. And I'm not talking about making your message and like in the sense of getting on Facebook Lives and bawling your eyes out the entire time. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like authentically, like today was a sucky day, here's why. But she always draws out the lesson to take out of it and move forward. And that's the key to authenticity. When people struggle with that, they're like, I don't know what you mean. Like, should I share that I'm having a really bad time with my husband? Well, no, not like that. But you can share like what you're going through and the emotions you're dealing with and the struggle, but draw out the positive that you're learning from it, how it's making you stronger, how it's helping you create a better life for yourself. And I think, Julie, you do that so well in your stories, on your social media. So what I would love for you to share with people is, especially when they're new and they don't really get this, like what are some things that they can do to figure out who they are on social media and what they should be talking about in their messaging, and just how to be like that on social media if maybe they're super nervous and they don't know what that means, right? A lot of times people don't understand. So like, what do you mean, Julie Burke? If I show up tomorrow, what am I posting? Like, what should I be doing to start getting people to react to me in a positive way?
Yeah, well, Stace, you said it, like right there is exactly it. I'm not showing up on social media and like you said, like falling and just like this total hot mess. And when I do share what is going on in my life, and you guys, this is small steps, by the way. Like if you're just getting started on social media, like it could just, you don't have to take this big, huge, giant leap. And like, for example, if you're going through something with your partner or your spouse, I mean, you don't have, I'm not saying to show up and immediately go to that, right? But you could just do like, hey, I haven't been feeling really good lately. I have in my body, right? I decided to take this journey. I'm looking for people to do it with. Here's my goal. I'm going to work every day towards my goal. Am I perfect? Nope. But none of us are, right? Like something as simple as that. Would love people to do this with me. Like,
love it.
Reach out if you're looking for a change in your life. Like, you guys, it doesn't have to be this big thing. Even when I talk about my cousin, I haven't talked about my cousin on social media. Actually, I think it's easier for me to talk about it here because even though there's all these people listening, like Stace, it's like just you and I, but I haven't really talked about this with anyone. And my family has been dealing with this roller coaster of a ride since last August, right? And so he wasn't supposed to make it to Christmas. He made it through Christmas. He made it to his brother-in-law's wedding in Italy in the beginning of June. And when he came back from June, he really declined, and now he's on hospice. And so it's like you have to face it. Like, we cannot run away. We have to face what life is bringing us. But even through this pain, this extreme pain that we are feeling as a family, I am so grateful that we, like you said it, like, spin to the positive. I'm so grateful we had extra time with him. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm so grateful. And that's whenever I do decide to share about his journey and whatever on social media, that's how I'm going to say it. Like, I'm just grateful for the time that we had together. And so if you are new, like I said, like, step one is really just to decide to show up. It's just to make that decision. We're not saying you have to go and, maybe it is that you do your first video and you're like, okay, I can do this, because you could do anything. You guys, we are superhumans. Like, we could do anything. I promise you're not going to die. I thought that too. You just turn on the camera, you share one little nugget, whether it's that you want to write the post about you starting your new journey, or you do a video about you starting your new journey, or maybe just a story, just like a 1-minute story. Whatever it is, just take the step. It's just about taking that step forwards and not backwards, right? And I also want to share real quick, Stacey, I'm going to share a quick exercise with everyone, if that's okay. So if you guys are taking notes, please write this down, but hear me on this. And if not, go back to the recording and do this exercise, because this is actually something that I did, okay? So take out a piece of paper and a pen. And if you're driving, obviously you can't do this. You come back to the recording. But I want you to write everything down that you are not happy with, okay? I want you to write down very specifically every single problem that you are facing. If you are struggling with finances, if you need a clear picture of what's wrong, write down every bill, every debt, every asset, every bit of income. Okay, if you're struggling with your weight, if self-image, right? Write down exactly what you are not happy about, like what you're disliking, what kind of feelings are coming up for you, right? Write everything down that bothers or upsets you, okay? You must first and foremost get out of the denial and into clarity about what's really wrong. And I've done this several times on my journey, okay? Clarity brings so much. Now, we can think it, but when you are writing it down, just let that pen flow, okay? Because at this point, you have a choice. You could either make peace with what's going on, or you could actually commit to changing. And what's lingering is what is keeping you stuck. So do this exercise. I promise you guys, it will make all the difference in the world. Make the choice. Choose, whether it's peace or to change. But you cannot stay stuck. And so go through this exercise and decide really, get real with yourself. Okay? Face it. So many times we want to push it aside and push it aside and push it aside, and guess what? It's 3 years down the road, and you're still in the same place. So if it is that you're afraid to show up on social media, write down very specifically what's going to happen to you. Why is this such a struggle? Because I'll tell you right now, and if it's going to be where, you're worried about what others are going to think, you guys, don't spend your time trying to impress other people who probably you don't really care for in the first place, right? Let's just say that, like who you don't like, right? Focus on the people you love. Social media is such a big place, and we're always trying to compare. We're always trying to see what the other person's doing. There's so many sheep out there. You guys, be the leader. Be your own person. Don't self-sabotage. Just focus on what you want and just speak your truth. And I'm telling you, the right people will come into your world. Mm-hmm. And that is actually what has led to the success that I've had. It's just by doing that. I know it sounds simple, and you guys, it is simple. It really is. Like I said, you don't have to share the whole kit and caboodle, just small pieces at a time.
So powerful. I mean, you can literally do everything wrong in terms of what all the gurus are telling you with social media strategy. And if you just show up as you will attract a super massive, loyal, super magnetic audience that's throwing their wallets at you because they trust you implicitly. That's what happens. So stop worrying about ticking all the boxes and getting everything perfect and just show up. I mean, it's such a powerful message, and you do it so incredibly well. You don't want to change places with half the people who are like ragging on you on social. So who cares what they say? Like, nobody out there who's like saying nasty things to you is doing bigger things than you are. Trust me on that. You know, they're lying around.
And most of them are lying. Exactly. Most of them are lying about the results, like hands down. So that's what I said. Don't be the sheep. Be the leader. Like, just go out and do you. Be you, do you, speak you. Right? I always say I want to show up and just be, you know, right now, the world is kind of crazy, right? Social media can be the wild, wild west. But through that, there is gold. There is still gold. There are still your people out there if you speak in your voice.
Yeah, and when you show up authentically, you give other people permission to do the same, and that's all anyone's really looking for. There are a lot of people who haven't given themselves a voice yet, and you give them permission to have one when you show up with courage like that. So I love you, Julie Burke. I can't wait till we're in the
I love you.
again.
Yes, I know. Thank you so much for having me. Love you, Stace.
Thank you. Thank you for sharing. And